This is Morning Motivation for Educators on the Be Podcast Network. Learn about all the shows at bepodcastnetwork.com. You'll hear from a variety of formal and informal educators who help put this podcast together. If you'd like to contribute your voice to this show, please go to morningmotivationedu.com to apply.
Good morning, my friends. I am Candace Nass, a physical therapist, a wellness coach, a disciple of Christ, and a mother of 6. I created my business, the Mind, Body, Spirit Trifecta, where I am the liberator of love. Love for God, love for yourself, and love for others, as I enlighten and empower others to elevate their mind, body, and spirit and own their divine greatness. I love learning. I totally own that I am a nerd, and I'm completely okay with that. I think it is so fun to geek out, especially about things that have to do with the mind, the body, or the spirit. If you've listened to me at all, I'm sure that isn't a surprise to you. As I was learning and listening to some of my favorite podcasts and talks over this past week, I kept hearing about the 2 great commandments being to love God and to love our neighbor. I get so irked when the other piece of the second great commandment is left out, which is to love ourselves. I'm so thankful this week for the powerful understanding and testimony I have of the 2 great commandments, which includes loving God, loving ourselves, and loving others. The reason I get so bent out of shape when loving ourselves is left out of the second great commandment is because I struggled my entire life up until just a few years ago with truly loving myself. Now, I know that sounds cliche and maybe a bit dumb to people who haven't ever experienced what it's like, but this lack of love for myself and the person that I am, it led to many devastating life experiences. After going through some painful and purifying trials, I finally learned what it actually means and looks like to genuinely love and accept myself. I witnessed through reflection of my life how absolutely vital self-love is. Now I truly understand with acceptance and love who I really am and my missions on this earth. Loving ourselves is a huge piece to that puzzle, and it is a core part of the 2 great commandments. So often, the commandment to love ourselves is overlooked, and we simply just say, love your neighbor. The second great commandment actually says, love thy neighbor as thyself. There are so many incredible women and men too that do not love themselves. I wish someone would have taught me years ago how to love myself and that it actually is a commandment to figure out how to love and accept myself. Truly, loving ourselves is absolutely necessary for us to feel God's love more and to love others more genuinely. I believe the loving ourselves piece is often left out in an effort to avoid falling into pride. However, loving oneself according to this commandment is not a pride thing. It's actually a contrary, which we need to prove. So if pride were a teeter-totter, one side would be, I'm better than everyone else, and the other would be, I'm worse than everyone else. The sweet spot in the middle, which Jared Halverson refers to as the Goldilocks zone, is where we want to land. It's knowing that I am awesome, and so are you. I'm not better than anyone else, and I'm also not worse than anyone either. I've learned firsthand, if we don't believe that we have anything to offer this world, then we really can't own our greatness or step into our divinity or fulfill any mission that we were sent here to perform. Self-belief is the number 1 variable in human performance. We must figure out how to generate confidence, not pride. And this self-belief, this confidence comes as a result of loving God, truly loving and accepting ourselves, and loving others. If we are to access our unique spiritual gifts in order to better serve each other, we must believe in and love not only God and others, but also ourselves too. It's critical for us as children of God to own our divinity and to love who God created us to be as we are. Loving who we are while working toward who we want to become is the recipe for beautiful growth, for better serving others, and for ultimately magnifying this life. This genuine loving of ourselves from a place of grace, knowing it's totally okay that I am a work in progress. This engenders more love for God and more love for others. The two great commandments are such a beautifully orchestrated symphony of love, but this symphony does not synchronize if any of the pieces are left out. So we must love God, we must love ourselves, and we must love others. I'm so grateful to know how important and vital it is to love God with all our might, mind, and strength, and to love ourselves and to love others. It is the formula for joy and growth. Thank you for joining me today and for being part of my journey. I believe in you, and I truly am thankful for you. If you'd like more from me, I invite you to listen to and subscribe to my podcast called Designed for Greatness with Candace Nass. Grab my free mini course to help you become the boss of your brain. It's called 5 Days of Focus. I'd love for you to join my Thankful Thursday email. You can always contact me through my email address. Links are all in the show notes. And remember, you are designed for greatness.
Thanks for listening. And whatever role you have in education, we have a podcast for you at bpodcastnetwork.com. Who among your friends and colleagues needs to hear this message today? Please share it with them right now.